Indiana Jones premiering at Cannes Film Festival. Already getting
Now,
reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. Not looking so good.
Here's the thing. If you've been paying attention to us or anybody who covers entertainment news over the last 6 months, Disney has been burning. Like it's goddamn Harrenhal over there. If you catch my Game of Thrones reference, it's bad. It's bad. But a lot of the bad has able to either be ignored or kind of spun in somewhat of a either positive or neutral light by your mainstream providers, your Deadline, Variety, those the big ones.
The ones who tell everybody that every single Marvel movie is the greatest Marvel movie.
It's the best ever. It's the best ever. It's the best ever. No, this is the best ever. Those guys, right? Corporations. When they begin to turn on you, it's over. It's over. Because those are the people whose narrative you can't really fight. When Variety prints a review of your movie stating that there were people audibly talking in the middle of your film, that most of the jokes by your co-lead, Miss Phoebe Waller-Bridge, every time she made one of her quips or jokes, dead silent in response.
That's bad.
And that when it was time to give the standard Kanye 5-minute proposal, they called it a lukewarm 5-minute applause. Lukewarm? Like, you couldn't just leave the lukewarm out of that? You couldn't just say that he got a 5-minute applause and left it at that? Case in point. We were talking about a few weeks ago, or maybe it was last week. They ran up on Steven Spielberg and asked him what he thought about it when he seen the movie, right? Steven Spielberg is like, they seem to really like it. They put a lot of work into it and they seem to really like it. The article that came out says Steven Spielberg says he really likes the movie and he couldn't have done any better himself. That was maybe 14 days ago. Maybe. Now, for the same film that they just tried to convince you that Steven Spielberg, the original director of Indiana Jones, told y'all that it was better than anything that he could provide you. That was the spin of the article. Now those same providers are trying to tell you that this movie is crap. That it is absolute dog shit, because they would not say these things about a movie that they'll just turn around and try to promote or help promote or be in lockstep with the studio on. It's very, very antithetical. Those things don't line up.
Yeah.
Plus, they're willing to risk any level of access they still have at Lucasfilm or Disney by trashing this movie. They know everybody's going to trash it, so that's why they're getting ahead of it. This ain't good, y'all. This ain't good. For Harrison Ford, it's not good. For Lucasfilm, it's not good. It's really not great for Kathleen Kennedy. I know a lot of people think that she has a certain level of political cover, or she may have some, an idea of some inner workings at Disney that may not play well in the public, what have you. And that always what it is. The thing that people keep forgetting, when we're talking about this company, is that Disney is publicly traded. They have stockholders. They have people that they are beholden to. They are not just going to keep watching Disney plummet. I believe the stock is under $100 at this point.
Sheesh.
They're not going to keep watching that slide. Disney Plus losing subscribers. Another Marvel film getting trashed in the reviews. Another Disney Plus show canceled or delayed. That doesn't sound like money coming to my pocket.
It doesn't.
That does not sound like money to me. That sounds like complete and utter failure. And so now if I can begin to pinpoint as a shareholder, not as a connoisseur of entertainment news like ourselves, but just a common person who happens to have a minority, majority, or just a sizable stake in Disney. Hey, yeah, the Star Wars chick. I'm going through this stuff now. I'm looking more closely because it's terrible over there. And it seems like every Star Wars film you put out since Force Awakens went down. I'm also looking over here and I'm seeing a lot of canceled projects. A lot of things that were announced and then never happened or were walked back at some point. I'm also seeing we had one of the greatest action franchises in American film history. And our last 2 installments of it were Alpo. To the point where your snooty high-end film critics, you know, pinky up, wine and cheese crowd, even they shitted all over your movie. Shitted all over it. Gave Harrison Ford his flowers. You know, he had an emotional goodbye, I heard, but shitted on your movie. They came, they ate your food, and then they wrote terrible things about your film. That's not a good sign, man. It doesn't feel like, does not feel like, well, but I'm not going to call it, because I called it some months ago, and ain't nothing happened. And then, you know, we got 3 new disaster movies to announce that celebration. So, well, not 3 disaster movies. 2 of those movies piqued my interest. I just think one of those 2 is never going to happen. And then now the other one with Filoni, I don't know who team he batting for. I don't know if he team KK or if he's team Star Wars. You don't even have to be team Favreau. Are you going to be team Star Wars? Or are you going to be team KK? Because KK wants Star Wars to be something else. He wants it to be something different. That different isn't selling. It's not appeasing the fans. It's not even going to the people she wants it to go to. They aren't buying it. So I don't know.
We will definitely see. Speaking of Star Wars, though, we just got news that they just closed down one of their Star Wars themed hotels.
Oh, it gets worse. Oh, y'all thought that was it? Y'all thought a shitty movie and bad reviews was it? Nah. While they were in there watching the film, the news of Disney shutting down the Galactic Starcruiser, their resort-style hotel that is Star Wars themed, that was anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000 for the excursion. So that shit was doomed from the jump. I don't know if Disney's ever heard of fucking inflation or what the hell is happening with the real economy. You know, the one that 90% of us live in day to day. It ain't the time to be spending 6 bands on Disney trips.
Facts.
So that shit was doomed from the jump. But yeah, they couldn't get it booked. The excursions they couldn't get enough people to actually do the stuff that they were planning on doing. So it shut down. It closed. I don't think it'll be permanently, but it definitely is an eyesore. Now it's a physical property that people can drive by and say, oh yeah, that used to be the Galactic Starcruiser. That's no longer open. It's not a failed movie. It's not a bad TV show. It is a shining monument to your failure.
Yeah.
But that news hit right as the movie was coming out. So as she's leaving, all the reporters and shit already know about it. She had to have gotten bombarded with questions about the Starcruiser shutting down, and it didn't come out until she was already at the event.
Yikes. Yeah, no, that sucks. But if you're the person behind all of that, you gotta eat shit.
Nigga, I am leaving the movie early, and I'm driving home. I'm not answering. First of all, you think Iger told me that they were going to shut down the Starcruiser today when we're premiering this movie? You think he told me that? Because if you did, I got a beach in Idaho I want to sell you. Okay? She walked into that shit blind, and then the news drops in the middle of her trash movie getting drugged through the mud. Like, this was worst case scenario for her going on right now. But also tells me it doesn't seem like she has a friend who is caping for Kathleen Kennedy. I ain't heard Iger come out and say nothing about them damn Star Wars projects. I heard him say nothing. I haven't. The trades are trading spaces. They going to the other side. Star Wars fandom, she been kicking us in the nuts for a decade. She does not want us. She does not want the fan base that existed prior to her taking over Lucasfilm. She wants it to be something newer, something different. I don't begrudge her for that. I only begrudge her for doing it terribly, and being tone deaf, ignoring the cries that you hear from fans, always finding a way to explain away your responsibility in it, making it about the Chads and the toxic web bros and you know what I'm saying, like. It didn't win Elizabeth Warren no fucking election. It damn sure ain't gonna win you one either. So how about you take account of who you got, who's coming to spend money with you. You find a way to please them, and if you can bring some more people in at the same time, sounds great. But disaffecting your core audience, right, and trying to do something drastically different with a title that has existed in perpetuity for 30 years before you even smelled it. It's just not the way to go.
No.
Doesn't sound like good business.
No, it doesn't. But we'll see how her future looks pretty soon, because I'm sure it's pretty fucking iffy.
Yeah.